Thanksgiving is supposed to be a happy time. You believe that bird has all kinds of germs that can get you sick, and preparing it can be dangerous, even after putting the carving knife down. Lorie Johnson tells us why and how you can avoid some of the hazards that come with your turkey dinner.
Although it may look safe, your Thanksgiving turkey could be contaminated with salmonella. Dr. Philip Snyder says for most people that would ruin their holiday weekend, but for others it can be deadly.
People usually develop diarrhea, fever, abdominal cramps, and they will start to feel just flu-like symptoms. And most people will get through these just fine in 4 to 7 days. People who are very young, like infants or young children or elderly individuals or somebody with a compromised immune system, they will have a harder time fighting the infection.
Salmonella is found in raw turkey. Chef David Miller is an instructor at the Virginia Culinary Institute. He says turkey should be thawed in the refrigerator, not at room temperature.
If you have to rush it, the best way to do it is under cool running water in the sink, so the turkey is covered but the water stays running the whole time. The water should be draining.
Put your bird on a pan in the fridge because the raw juices can infect everything they touch. Something to keep in mind while you're preparing it.
So after you're handling a raw bird, you need to make sure that then the surfaces are cleaned, your knives are cleaned, and you wash your hands real thoroughly before handling anything else.
To kill bacteria, use soap. Or to be most cautious, mix a tablespoon of bleach into a gallon of warm water. And use paper towels because sponges can be a breeding ground for bacteria. No offense to Grandma, but the old-fashioned way of cooking turkey for a long period of time at a low temperature just isn't safe because it doesn't kill any bacteria that might be in it. The oven should be at least 325 degrees. Cook the turkey until it reaches 165 degrees at the innermost part. Most chefs do not recommend stuffing a turkey because by the time the stuffing reaches 165 degrees, the rest of the turkey is overcooked. Now, when it comes to Thanksgiving leftovers, beware of a different kind of bacteria, E. coli.
Anytime you get a foodborne illness, it will take anywhere from 12 to 72 hours to know that you're starting to get the symptoms. So oftentimes it's very difficult to know when it is a foodborne illness versus a viral infection that can give you intestinal symptoms.
The bacteria danger zone is between 40 and 140 degrees. So make sure your fridge is cool enough and get those leftovers in there within 2 hours, separating any big dishes into small containers. Then eat or freeze those leftovers within 4 days. When talking about turkey safety, be very careful if you're deep frying it. Although it's become a very popular way to cook Thanksgiving dinner with lots of hot oil and an open flame, it can also be very dangerous. Overfilling the turkey fryer is the most common mistake. To prevent this, first test with water how much oil you'll need. Don't put your fryer in a garage or up against a wall. And make sure your turkey is completely dry and defrosted before you slowly place it in the oil. Fire Chief Tim Riley says Thanksgiving is the peak day for home fires.
Should always have gloves. Should always have eye goggles. You should never be on the deck. You should never be inside. Have a stable platform and be familiar with the operation of your turkey fryer.
There is one exception to the outdoor-only rule. That's if you're using a fryer specifically designed for indoor use. And regardless of how you're cooking your turkey, if you get a minor burn, put it under cool water. Do not put ice or butter on it.
If the skin does break, make sure and keep that area covered to prevent a secondary infection and put an antibiotic ointment on there. Some people are sensitive to Neosporin, so we do recommend you use a Polysporin. And if there is a blister from the burn, try not to pop the blister, but keep it covered as long as possible. And don't use hydrogen peroxide because that will damage the cells that are trying to repair the injury.
Hopefully, these turkey safety tips will help you and your family sidestep any mishaps and fully enjoy the blessings of Thanksgiving. Lorie Johnson, CBN News.
Thanks, Lorie. It's kind of like, let's give up turkey, let's go back and eat chicken or something and go to KFC.
So let's review 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Don't get salmonella. Don't get E. coli. Don't burn yourself. Don't burn your house down. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, pumpkin pie.
There's actually one more thing that you need to watch out
What's
for,
that?
and that is choking. Do you know that 2,500 people choke to death every year? And guess what the main cause of choking is?
Bones.
Close.
No.
Talking while you're eating.
Really?
So there's a lot of that going on Thanksgiving.
You know, Elizabeth Taylor got a bone in her throat, but that was that a chicken bone, a fish bone, or some kind of a bone?
You know, Mama Cass from the Mamas and Papas, she choked on a ham sandwich. You know, it happens. So if you're with somebody who is choking, what do? Well, first of all, if they're coughing, don't do anything at all, because that means there's air getting through, and coughing is the best means to recover from choking. But if they're not coughing, that means that the food is so tight in their throat that no air is getting through. You got ahead of me. That's right. That if they can't talk, if they can't cough, then they can't breathe. So you have to do the Heimlich maneuver. Do you know how to do it?
Sure. You don't want me to do it on you, I'll break your ribs. But, all right, that whole thing about salmonella, though, I mean, we've gotten kind of spooked about it, but we really need to be careful because there's juice coming out of those turkeys, there's blood coming out, and it's got salmonella all over the place. And your tendency is just take a rag, wipe it up, and let it go. That's not the way to do it.
I actually know someone who got salmonella poisoning on Thanksgiving, a pastor, and they put the bird in the oven in the morning, set it on a real low temperature, went out visiting all their parishioners all day, and then came back later in the afternoon, much later in the afternoon, and ate the turkey and was sick because they didn't have the temperature up high enough.
350?
Mm-hmm.
350. Okay. Well, you've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't get sick. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Well, we've got more information for you in a fact sheet that's available online. It's called Let's Talk Turkey Safety. And we appreciate Lorie. She's terrific.